Is anybody listening? I wonder, can you hear me? A voice in the wilderness.
Shalom, my name is Dawah, Bayn, Yisrael. I'm your host for this segment of the Yisrael Hour. This is a live call-in show. The number we can be reached at is 312-738-1845. Again, that's 312-738-1845. We're here tonight, April the 24th, 9 o'clock p.m. prime time live. Right out of Chicago. I have two very distinguished guests with me tonight. I have a sister. We're going to bring some sister energy to the show tonight, as well as a brother, Sister Phala Nazarine out of Atlanta. And then we have my brother. I'm pretty sure plenty of you out there know the brother Jay from X-Clan.
Respect, my lord.
I'd like to welcome both of you all to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Now, sister, you put together a documentary, which will be airing. I'm going to get those dates. Her documentary that she put together with this brother and a few other individuals will be airing here in Chicago. Let me get the dates now. That'll be May the 1st at 10 p.m. on Channel 19. May the 1st at 10 p.m. on Channel 19, and then May the 11th at 10:30 p.m. on Channel 19. Her documentary will be shown here. It's called The Rebirth of a Hip Hop Nation, right?
Yes, part one, the movement.
Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, it's a documentary series, and what we're striving to do, myself and the brother here and other ones who are part of the hip-hop movement, we're working to make sure that we document as we push forward to make the movement strong and bring hip-hop back to its royal nature. We plan to make sure that this our baby is set forth for the youth to be used as an educational tool, rather than what it's doing now, which is, you know, very destructive. So we're working on bringing back the love and bringing back the life and bringing back the art within the hip hop movement. Okay.
That's positive. Okay, yeah. So brother, why don't you tell us where you come in at as far as the documentary?
Well, I was in ATL, you know, moving around. The movement is very strong down in the South. And the sister brought elements of movement from LA to Georgia, and I was respecting that. She had brought me in for a show, and I saw that, you know, the support for this kind of film wasn't 100%. You know what I'm saying? People coming to peep in to see, you know, if it's good or bad, rather than saying, how can I help? Right. So I put myself up as an example to say, this is how I can help, you know, for everyone that has ever, you know, got behind our music or our rallies or anything that we've ever done in the 20 years of X-Clan's history. This picture was really speaking the language, and it just needed assistance to stand up on its own legs, you know. And for a rebirth of a hip-hop nation, I saw the concept of a mother speaking in behalf, because if you're dealing with the mother, she's giving birth to the thug and the god on the street. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I saw. So my thing was, let me not just contribute sound, but let me contribute effort. Let me try to bring in other heads that can have. So we had Bun B involved. We had a lot of people that were on my management team at the time when I was with Black World Entertainment in Atlanta, just coming through to contribute their parts. She had already captured Griff and a lot of the obvious names in the movement, but, you know, to step above and beyond to get Forte when he came right out of prison, when his mind was fresh and reformed. That was important. You know what I'm saying? To catch Lauren when she first came and hit the Rock the Bells and things like that. Even though the footage was away, you know what I'm saying, it still counted. And all I did was just lay my part to make sure that the panels were speaking the common sense and right reasoning that we deserve to, you know, to be heard from. You know what I'm saying? That's basically been my part. Okay.
Do me a favor, sis. Can you describe what your vision is of a hip-hop nation? Because, you know, it's your title. So what is your vision there with that title?
Okay, with the title of again, this is a documentary series, So I plan on continuing, but like I said, it's a movement. And what I envision is giving birth to many babies, and hip hop, respectively, like I said, going back to its true nature, which I mean started off, you know, in Africa with the griots, and the drums, and I mean now we have, you know, we're synthesized, but we want to, with the new music and the new ways and the synthesizing, and you know, we want to bring some of that old back and the nature of the griot. And that's what I see. I see brothers like Brother Jay coming forth now just as strong as he was then, and inspiring sisters like the sister who we'll hear from later to just, you know, come forth. And like, I mean, I want to have this baby. I want the sister to have this baby. I want the other sister. I want us to really nurture the culture. And so that's what I see when I you know, spark. You know, I'm just a spark, and we're all a part of this movement. And so my joy and my heart just wants everybody to see the vision and get involved, because it's going to take more than just me. I represent all of the mothers. You know, I represent all of the daughters, all of the sisters. And I just want everybody to feel me, and then just, you know, respectfully get into your position. Know your role, know your lane, and ride it all the way out. So that's what I see. I see people coming stronger than ever, because, you know, if I can spark that flame, you know what I mean?
Okay. So what do you see hip hop going in the future?
I see it going one way or the other. Like he said, I've given birth to the thug, from, you know, the Tupacs all the way to the Eazy-E's. Okay, I've given birth to the KRS-Ones. So what I'm saying is, right now we're not seeing a balance. And I see this effort when we all really truly get involved, and when we say hip hop, higher infinite power, healing our people. I want people to understand and take that and run with it, because if you have the power to heal, and life and death is in the power of the tongue, and we have gifts, we have to know that the gift is not to be braggadocious. The gift is not to uplift yourself. The gift is not for celebrity at this point. The gift is given so that we can save our babies. You know, our babies are, you know, vibrating at an extremely low vibration right now. And there is no balance. So what I see is hip hop once again being brought back to its virtuous nature, versus just being, you know, the boom bap and the braggadocious and the, you know, now we're talking about trapping and selling dope. And this is what our children who are in elementary school and middle school, junior high school, this is what they're, you know, they're mimicking it, and we're giving it to them. So now it's our responsibility as, respectfully, the conscious community to come forth strong and at least bring forth a balance. I'm not saying that every baby that I give birth to is going to be, I mean, I'm not even going to put up an expectation for each one to be at, you know, but what I'm expecting is that we understand that there must be a balance. There must be a balance.
Has to be some kind of discipline, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We right now are at a place where there's no discipline. Everything is just, you know, gun and go. You know what I'm saying? The information on the internet has erased the elder, period. I don't have to go ask a question from someone older than me. I can ask Google. So that already eliminates a generation of wisdom that we nourish from. You know, when hip-hop was started, man, we were digging in crates and asking our parents, who is this? You know what I'm saying? Who's Al Green?
Yeah.
Who's Isley Brothers? Who's this? We relied on the knowledge. Now you can get a watch or a phone and make beats and not even have to ask anybody how does a chord go, or why am I inspired? Why do I hear tones from different places? You know, that kind of schooling is not going down. So inside of this film, inside the inner message of it is kind of connecting things back. People have such a phobia toward conscious music. As soon as they hear the word, it's like, you know, conscious, what you talking about? That means to awaken. They've now made it a label of, oh, that's that kind of whatever. And I think that in the world of too many labels of sub-genres right now, I don't think we need to have consciousness kind of as an outcast, but as a bridge.
Exactly.
Because it makes all the other sub-genres, the dubstep and the hip-hop jazz, all of that, it makes all that make sense. because you got Nas on a good day building on something with Damien rather than Uchiwalian.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got cats in D Block camp in New York who might express something of a building with Phala March, a positive record. You know, artists like me snatch songs like that, clean them up and give them to youth because I want them to learn flows. You know, sometimes the conscious artists who claim that title are what I call them positive because, you know, they're half-ass with their lyrics and their form. You want to curse everybody out, but you, man, woman, and child. I can't play your material in front of my child. I can't come and bring them from school and degrade their knowledge because you want to get fly in front of the record label. And then when you get interviewed, yeah, I'm positive, but I just do that for the, you know, whatever. We are trying to eliminate that. And the way to eliminate that is to get the best production and the best artists and smash completely and take what we need. You know, we don't need the industry. I don't want the commercial lane. You know what I'm saying? The mainstream does not belong to commercialism. It belongs to the people. People like Tech Nine have proven that there's an independent mainstream. You know what I'm saying? I've signed on a label with Cottonmouth Kings. They're showing me, you know, situations of independent and merch and things. I was just talking to it with, you know, with Brother Pro Mike about, you know, merchandise and how astounding it was to see the support. You know what I'm saying? We did this in 1990. All of these beads and stuff that we had the opportunity to become capitalists on that, and we refused it. But other people picked it up and wore it out to a point where it's not even attractive. You know what I'm saying? To put it on, you look like CB4. You know what I'm saying? Clowning, really. You know what I'm saying? It's created a strange stereotype. And I mean, I know some of the best lyricists in the world, brother, who don't even come and try to even deal with this commercial world, and we have to just really open the door to let them know it's not their world. This film kind of shows different areas of successful people like Griff and, you know, Immortal Techniques and different people, you know, who have given their energy, their prayers, to say, I'm still for the movement. I'm still for some kind of liberation on this radio wave that has just given itself totally to pay it off and get what you need. It has to be some kind of feel to say, yo, man, we need some kind of feel-good music, and I'll miss. All of these artists that were out in the 90s, they're musicians now. They don't even have an outlet. You know what I'm saying? When Phala March started singing, people backed off him. But his creativity had got to such a peak, where else was he going to go? You know what I'm saying? You're going to keep rhyming and battling the industry? It's a waste of time.
I feel you.
A waste of time, my lord.
I feel you, brother. Sis, you mentioned a very powerful and key word. We understand it, but I want you to explain the word griot, because that's where all this comes from. Would you please just go into that so that for those who don't know what that means, they can all, you know, chime in.
The griot is the African storyteller, not necessarily like a rhyming poet, but there's a poetic flow to a griot story, and the griots were the usually elders who passed on stories to the following generations and kept legacies of their culture going. And when I say we are the griots of today, there's a responsibility when you're a storyteller and you're telling stories to the village. And the griots took that very seriously. It's the difference between a rapper and per se an MC. And what I'm saying is right now, I don't see the difference between the rapper and the MC anymore. So I want for the MCs to stand up, because a lot of times, like the brother was saying, these MCs are competing with the mainstream, so then they forget the griot within, you know. When that's like when you look at KRS-One, when you look at Brother J, these brothers are able to come forth at any stage. They can be 60, 70 years old, still doing what they do, because there's a story behind it. There's a legacy behind it, and they have sons, and they're teaching their sons just by continuously being active and not selling out and telling these stories. And you know, the most genuine part of the griot, the MC, the poet, is the drum, because the rhythm is what keeps the children involved. You know, I mean, us grown folks will sit here and we'll chop it up, but when you want to get the attention of the babies, they want to. I mean, you just you know, get it popping. And they want to hear that, and they want to hear the drum, and they want to hear the storytelling, and they feel it, and it's an energy that the griot creates that the rapper doesn't have a hold of. And
this is, I didn't mean to cut you, sis, but it's a very serious point. We're speaking about our own like they're our enemy. Like a KRS-One versus a Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference from Jeezy stories and KRS-Ones? You know what I'm saying? There's no different. And now this industry has made it to where I got to look at T.I. or look at another cat like, oh, you one of those dudes who talk about that kind of story. We come from the same neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you are, they always put the black existence in a certain place to live and to do whatever they do. And you tell stories from this side of the woods. You're not going to tell stories from the hills where we at. You got to fight to get up there. So in the midst of the battle to get to the hill, we fighting each other. I'm conscious, you thug, you this, you that. We all African here, and no matter what. And that has to, that wall has to be broken down. We watch and celebrate Berlin walls and all this other stuff going on in the world. There's a wall that is in our neighborhood right now, to where if I'm there doing a community service, why my poster's not sitting in the mom and pops? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not shelling you paper from my label. So I got to go as a conscious artist and say, I got to pay attention to business and go find me a place, or go find me some investors that would say, let me go ahead and be able to pay for as much posters as this man or Def Jam does for this artist, or Interscope does for Snoop, or whoever. We have to get to a point of business. When we start thinking about Marcus Garvey, about how collecting all of the businesses together to start the improvement of black people or cultural people, we still have to use that in music. You know, we wear all these beads and significance, and we don't even note the teachers on what they were trying to give us. And I think that a lot of the artists who are out here in the game now, who did quote unquote sell out, it does look like you sell out when you're not as raw as you first came, but we have to allow growth. It took us a long time to, right now, absorb Common. Everybody was like, oh man, Common, you done went Euro. Why? Because you wearing different kind of fashion, your shirt is tighter and your pants are skinny. You done rep too hard for me to ever dish you. You know what I'm saying? And people that are loyal to where he was really holding it down, where he could have been mainstream LL Cool J or whatever the hell may be, he held it down for the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? At one time, that was really all we had. We only had a few, that raucous style hip-hop at that time frame, where Mos and Talib and all of them come from. We need those elements back up. You know what I'm saying? It's way much right now for us to just keep worshiping the golden goblet and the whips that I'll never be able to afford. I had $1 million, I wouldn't buy one of those Bugatti or whatever the hell they be clowning about, man. It's a waste of time. I could build 4 schools or put you know, scholarships in people's hands that will improve. I'm not gonna put a scholarship in a dummy's hands. You know what I'm saying? All these genius writers and stuff can be writing better movies than the garbage I see, you know, on TV, writing better cartoons, anything. People just think hip-hop is one-dimensional. Now, you imagine if the Civil War came to a point where everybody's like this, the kind of power we will have, the kind of writing that Rick Ross does and the power of writing that KRS does, making a film, making something else happen, instead of looking at each other like this. It'll be different, but the people have to start first, because they're the ones. It's like getting in the fight, like, ooh, you heard what he said, ooh. That's the beef, that's the problem. It's not the artists, because at the end of the day, the artists are probably burning a blunt together in the back of the room, laughing at what people think about whatever. But they have to keep the image like a wrestler. Look, I gotta look like your enemy, Hulk Hogan, and you know, we always play that game. You know what I'm saying, for folks, and that has to kind of cease, homie. Look how smart Lil Wayne was. Cats don't even give him the time of day because you hear what's happening, but you really listen to that content and that rhythm, homie. Homie's busting, man. Drake, all of that. I give it respect, because I know lyricism. You know what I'm saying? So while people are hating, and when you finally put that thing, I say, oh man, that's not that bad. But the stereotype and the hype and the streets, oh man, don't support that, man. Where I'm from, oh man, don't mess with that. That's commercialism. I don't get into that. You know what I'm saying? My music gave birth to many things, as music before me gave birth to me. I want to keep giving that respect. I would hate to know that Drake is not influenced by my music. Why? Because I'm wearing what his ancestors wore. He better deal with me. He better deal with me. All of them better deal with me. Like, I got to deal with them, because my kids like you, and I want to say to them, you got to write better content. You know what I'm saying? Because it's ridiculous, homie. You got the bread now. Ain't nobody can tell you different, man. If Nas, just like Nas turned the leaf with Damien, man, ain't nobody said, nah, man, go back to the Queensbridge style, whatever. He always gonna be Queensbridge, but he saw a high calling. You feel me? That's a big window for artists right now to ride. You know what I'm saying? That's the one artist on Def Jam that they supported that really broke through and did something different. They didn't give the Roots that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? If the people give them the opportunity, I bet you Roots will be back #1 and don't have to be just a TV band for what it is. And I celebrate them. You know what I'm saying? I don't clown on that. That's a very big thing. You know what I'm saying? To be on any kind of, to have any kind of work.
Okay.
But I do feel that as far as band-wise, Roots should have been #1 for a long time, homie.
I see.
You know, how many people have been to them 2 or 3 hour concerts they used to throw down? Am I lying?
Right.
Real. That's real performance. Cats walking back and forth like,
Right.
and they ain't got it. That's veterans, man. We need that inspiration.
I hear you, bro.
Sir.
I hear you. We're going to go to the phones, over the phone lines at this time. Caller, go ahead and speak.
Well, Brother Jay, you hit the nail on the coffin. Actually, you took my comments, I was going to say, but nice to see you. I'm 38 years old. I've been listening to your music since when I was in high school.
Peace.
Listened to hip-hop for 31 years. The problem is, I'm going to be right quick,
Sir.
is it's getting capitalistic. Everything is about this and that, what they got. Back in the day, we used to talk about that, but we were slick with it.
Sir.
We didn't offend the fellow people that listen to your music. We didn't offend anybody. We were just talking, bragging about a little bit. But that was it. And I want to ask the sister, is that DVD going to come out?
The DVD will be available. Actually, there's a street copy that's available now. You can contact me by email p.nazarine, Nazarine, @gmail. Email me and I'll give you the information on how I can get the DVD street copy to you. They're very exclusive. The street copy is like, it has some raw footage that is not on the final cut, but the streets deserve to hear the real. So yeah, the street copy is off the chain. But Brother Dawah has a copy, so he can kind of speak on that.
Is that it?
Sure.
Okay. Next caller.
Yes, I just want to say, Brother Dawah, I'm loving the panel that you have here tonight. You know, I remember listening to Grandmaster Flash, The Message. I remember listening to Houdini, Sugar Hill Gang, and all of the music was positive, it was fun, and it allowed us to party. But we were getting hyped, but we weren't getting hyped to try to kill one another. We weren't getting hyped to stab each other still. We were having fun and enjoying each other. And the music today is so disgusting when they hyping up these Nicki Minaj's and all this foolishness, wigs on our heads,
Yes,
ugly
God.
makeup, got us with exaggerated body parts like a caricature. And what's crazy about it is she speaks in this lesbianism, little innuendo she throws in her music. And this populace just eats it up. It's disgusting because now you're putting this out there to the young kids. It's okay to be a lesbian. It's okay to be gay. And all this foolishness they putting out on this community. And so they have a responsibility to come with a better content than what they're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. I hate what hip-hop has become because, honestly, I believe it's causing a downfall in the younger generation with all this foolishness about bling-bling and all this, but they can barely read.
That's
There's something bad there. So I'm loving what your panel is talking about, getting back to basics, bringing hip-hop back to a positive standpoint where it used to be instead of this foolishness. And everybody wants to bow to Jay-Z like he's God and all this. And in one record, they calling their queens bitches and hoes and all that. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. But I'm loving the panel. I'm loving y'all up there. Keep on preaching, telling the truth. Thank y'all.
I appreciate love.
Appreciate that.
May I comment to her, or we taking calls?
You can go ahead and comment. I'll get to the call. Go ahead.
All right. I want to comment on something that the sister just spoke on. I agree in a lot of parts, but we have to start separating hip hop business and hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? And because where you're saying there's a responsibility for the artist to put out a message, they don't have to be responsible for nothing. It's a job for them. You know, when you go to Interscope and say, put my music out, you have a responsibility to advertise, to make people buy those units, digital or physical. That's the only responsibility they have in a business. But for the culture, a lot of the cats that she was speaking of, like Houdini, and so on. It was about fun. You feel me? And we were artists then, young. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, as old as Houdini and them are, but I know coming into the 90s, I was wanting to have fun, and I wasn't making no money. You know what I'm saying? And where you look now, where a young artist is saying in the game, I'm gonna get my money from the gate. I'm gonna talk about it until it manifests in my head. They have the wrong concept of how things manifest. You know what I'm saying? You don't talk about riches and feel it's gonna fall out the sky. And I think this is where our wisdom will kind of interject to a system on the stages it takes to get to be successful, and for you to really feel out what it is to be successful, because this is a young generation raising themselves. Hip-hop does not have a guide where you figure out, okay, Biggie just taught me how to break down cocaine. This person taught me how to hustle weed. Nicki taught me how to hit the pole. You know what I'm saying? We're not listening to music like that. We're just absorbing the lesson and keeping it moving, and when the situation presents itself, we take what we've registered and go ahead. That's all the youth have. Now, if we keep judging them, stop listening to that nasty girl, stop listening to that, all that youth is going to go listen to it more. For us, it was Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. How many cats was sneaking the Eddie Murphy cassette in the back, and your parents was like, you know, stop listening to this nasty man. But that was our link to adult activity, adult language. The radio gives it to us now, where they used to, you know, the industry used to hide it from us. We as parents have to start to put the regulation on the business. On what they give us. We can't allow the business to raise our children anymore. You can't sit your kid in front of Disney anymore and say, I'm going to be right back, just watch TV. Because your kid will be sucking their teeth and going through all kind of fits that don't happen in regular homes outside of that TV setting. Feel me? I think if like the caller that just called in, if they were part of the business that kind of regulated everything, to say, hip-hop from 9 to 4, that's offensive. Anything during the daytime is clear language, good intention. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to have it when hip-hop, we didn't have all day. You be hearing R&B and all kind of Anita Baker, everything, and at 9 o'clock, oh man, red alert, boom, boom, boom. And it was whatever. It wasn't no judgment. You can hear NWA, you can hear Clan, you can hear whatever you wanted to hear. It wasn't no, oh man, why you played Master P, man? Why you played this? It was like, man, I'm glad to have this moment right now, this hip hop moment, and he's gonna be spinning. Oh, that's new. I gotta write it down. And the next day, what we was doing, going down to the spot, buying wax, buying whatever, and it was regulated. It wasn't offensive to the parent. If your parent let you stay up past 9 o'clock, you get to hear the do jam and go to school next day. You were hip, and that was hip hop. Bottom line, it was simple as that. When they found out how the consumer goes, okay, you hear it on the radio, and you go on tomorrow to buy 10 pieces of plastic that cost me 15 cents to print up, let's go.
I feel you.
What we've given up is our right to choose the message that we are going to put out there in our music. This is our music. This is our hip hop. This ain't the industry's hip hop. Now you want to do the shit hop, do the shit hop. Feel me? Do you want to do the rap industry, do the rap industry. But what I am saying and declaring is hip hop is my baby. Hip hop is your baby, your baby, your son, your son, your son. You see what I'm saying? It's not the industry's child. And when we give our children up to the foster system, that's what you get.
Exactly. We can't give up and back away. Most people who were listening to hip-hop in the 90s, mid-90s, that were older, went over to jazz, went over to inspirational, went somewhere else. They stopped. They don't even listen to the stations anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're judging from an outside perspective. Like, I saw that little nasty dude with the no shirt on the TV. You ain't even listen to nothing he said or nothing. You instantly judge the entire genre. So everybody, I get caught up in that, everybody. So as soon as an older person hear me, oh man, I ain't listening to hip hop in a while. You a hip hop artist? Your name Clan? That sounds thuggish. I explained that thug is a shard of the soldier, because I don't diss it. I understand that there is stages to soldier. They celebrate the one that holds the sword and not that has the full compassion. They never let a Tupac get to explore the full compassion. They just saw the hard side that was rebelling, and they said Thug Nation. But they ain't never grown from Thug Nation to become soldiers, and that's upsetting to me.
And
I don't know how they celebrate.
You
You playing hologram of this man and performing and moon dancing and all of this stuff on stage, but you ain't never took Thug to the soldier level, where the intention was. Learn what his father and his mother were about. where they were going with it, because it always stays raw in the RBG house, homie. We don't deal with the corny business. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of you know, little positive rappers that are out here right now. I diss them too, homie. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have rhythm with this knowledge, man, you just as bad as the enemy.